Yeah. Hey, look, we have a Fox alert here on that note. This is in South LA, and we are looking at a SUV that is now stopped.
It's almost
in a residential area.
A white SUV, and the driver's got the window open, and we don't know much about
it looks like there was something coming from the
this
vehicle.
pursuit took place, but you can see that driver's side tire smoking right there. So perhaps he's run over something. Do we know what street this is on?
We don't, but from what we understand a little bit before we got onto this pursuit here, we understand that there were some spike strips that were laid down on the street, and so that perhaps is why there is
driver's side
smoke
tire
emanating there from the tires. So a police pursuit now underway on surface streets in South LA, and we just saw one of the LA Sheriff's Department helicopters there overhead. Look at him as he goes across that intersection there and across that crosswalk. Two people crossing that crosswalk as he makes this left turn.
Onto Normandy. He's on Normandy now. Now this is a white Chevy, excuse me, turned off Normandy. This is a white Chevy Tahoe. Looks like a early 90s model. And we're told that the suspect is believed to be armed and dangerous, according to the LA sheriffs. I think armed says it all if you're in a police pursuit.
Armed and dangerous. At this point, we do believe or can only see one person in this vehicle.
Now, we're told the driver's been driving in circles and that he's trying to talk to people as he drives past them. That was when he was in the area of Vermont and about 43rd. But you can see
he's blocked.
He's not going very fast through this neighborhood. He was reaching speeds of up to 60 miles an hour at one point, but it looks like he's taking it slow in these residential streets.
Then he's slowing down. So the tires, we understand, are not. Although they tried to deploy the spike strips before, they were not effective, or they didn't deploy them in time. Going northbound on Western here, and we understand.
On the wrong side of the road.
Right there on the right, and here comes a crosswalk again.
Stopping for pedestrians. Well, that's a good thing.
Stopping for a pedestrian at a very busy intersection. And he slowly continues to try to make his way across, stopping all of traffic anyway.
Get through the traffic in this busy intersection.
You know, LA drivers, why would they even stop? Would you stop?
I mean, that was a...
So as
that was suspicious.
He continues to go. As I was saying, they attempted to put some spike strips down earlier, unsuccessful. The smoke that you saw emanating from under the wheel well there
somewhere else?
It was the brakes. It was the brakes.
But they are trying to use those spike strips to slow him down. You can see he's got the window open. It looks like he's holding on to his cell phone there. And apparently he was yelling out the window trying to talk to people as he went by.
White Chevy Tahoe, again, the suspect believed to be armed and dangerous, going through the street.
Suspect that's wanted by the Sheriff's Department. Right now driving on the wrong side of the road on oncoming traffic. Got his hand out the road again, out of the window again, making gestures at these cars. Again, you probably wouldn't be looking for that if you were making a left turn and a vehicle is driving on the wrong side of the road. Again, wrong side of the road right there. The other officer was definitely throwing out a pair of spike strips. That's what we just saw right there, northbound Western. That apparently would be the first time. Unclear if he hit those spike strips. You did see him swerve. You saw that officer throw those spike strips out in front of him. Great maneuver on the Sheriff's Department's part and a good effort. Unclear if they've worked. We're going to keep an eye on this vehicle. Again, you can see this guy now starting to speed up, which is very dangerous. Now he's going to have less brakes and possibly some flat tires. This is going to be some problems right here. Apparently we're coming up on Vernon, as I understand. Whoa! Look at that, the skateboarder right there. That guy almost got it. Again, you know, this is the reasons why these are so dangerous. These are the reasons why, especially on a Friday afternoon on these smaller streets out here, is extremely dangerous. And he's picking up speed. I'm looking that there's a bus up ahead making a turn. Again, look at this. He's taking center lanes. Now he's starting to get a little bit desperate. He's driving a little bit crazier. It's definitely very tense moments for the officers and anybody watching this, and of course the public at large in the area. It's going to be a very dangerous scene as this guy is driving faster than the traffic allows, and vehicle definitely not in the best of shape. Well, you know, it's funny you bring that up right now as we're coming up to another major intersection out here with a lot of cross traffic this afternoon. Again, Friday afternoon, very busy in the downtown area, South Los Angeles. Cut that vehicle off, apparently going very slow. But what the point is right now is that my pilot was just talking with the pilot from the sheriff's department down there. Actually, they're probably talking to the observer, and what we're hearing now is from that other helicopter is domestic violence. There's a domestic violence call. It was the original call for this. It looks like we're coming to a stop out here. The door is open. This guy is getting out of the vehicle. What? Oh, he's got a gun. He has got a gun. He is, and this could end kind of badly out here. He's gesturing very, yeah. This is not going to end very well. Shots fired. And he's still moving, still going out here. Sheriff's Department, he's still moving. You can definitely see a definite bullet wound to this gentleman, this suspect's back out here. It looks like he's collapsing, but he has not dropped the weapon. Has not dropped that weapon, and that is the problem out here. He's still got the weapon in his hand, and as long as that's going on, those officers will not approach him. And, you know, again, you can see the officers from the Sheriff's Department out here right now doing their tactical moves as this guy still has that weapon in his hand. You can see these officers got their guns out. They're giving him commands. Hopefully he'll be listening. Again, though, you can see the Sheriff's Department in force out here trying to get this guy to subdue. Very, very violent end to this pursuit. Apparently started as domestic violence. He landed on his back. I'm getting very clear orders not to show the suspect at all right now, so that's the reason why I'm not making that move. Last we saw him, he was laying on his back, but that weapon was still very clearly in his hand. And officers from the Sheriff's Department, as long as that suspect is armed, and you saw shots fired from that suspect at officers. So again, this is an extremely dangerous suspect. This vehicle that we're looking at right here, that okay, I thought maybe that might be a bullet wound. Yes, that shield is bulletproof. Or is bullet resistant. I'm not sure if there's anything that's bulletproof in this world. Again, though, this could be something they could use to approach that suspect. Again, I don't know if he dropped the weapon or threw it or what he has done with the weapon, but I can tell you officers right here, deputies from the Sheriff's Department, still have their weapons out. They're trying to formulate a plan to take this suspect into custody. Again, though, that suspect extremely defiant. And again, this is a very, very bizarre ending, very violent ending out here in the South Los Angeles area.
He had what appeared to be some kind of a weapon. There was an exchange of gunfire, and that might be the suspect down on the porch. Large fellow on the ground. Yeah, he is on the ground. He's surrounded by sheriff's deputies, but because they believe he had a gun, that's what led to the gunfire. It looks like a chest or a belly wound. We don't know of anybody else who was in the car, but he was a kidnapping suspect. You can see there's some blood on the shirt as well, but LA County Sheriff's deputies, they're not sure exactly the condition of that suspect, so they're not sure if he's still armed, therefore dangerous, so they're keeping a little bit of a wide berth. They're trying to communicate with him just a little bit, but right now, I'm not sure if you can see my shot, but I can see the house surrounded by LA County Sheriff's deputies. They've got their guns drawn. If firefighters are here, at this point, they're being held out because this is still a potentially very volatile situation. Looks like when he got out of the car, you can see all the sheriff's deputies. You have our picture now. When he got out of that SUV, he jumped out, apparently made a run for it. And again, Mark, you saw this. I didn't, but I heard you mentioning that you believed he had a gun. There was an exchange of gunfire. I'm not sure if the suspect shot, but apparently LA County Sheriff's deputies did shoot at him.
He made several threatening gestures at the end of the pursuit. He got out of the vehicle. Normally people get out and they either give up or they run. Those are pretty much the two things they basically did. Okay. He did not do that. He reached into his waistband and made several what would appear to be threatening moves and yelled at his pursuers, yelled at the sheriff's deputies, and gestured wildly. I couldn't tell from our vantage point, from Air 7, some 800 feet in the air, with the camera starting to widen out, whether he actually had a weapon in his hands, but the earlier reports were that the suspect was in fact armed, this kidnapping suspect as he was described to us.
Yeah.
So then that means that they would have been certainly justified, and if they saw a weapon in his hands, they would be justified in firing at him. He is on the porch of this house.
You see a dog there?
And there's a dog there that looks like it's tied up. He's laying down on his back.
Watch that pole.
And he is, I can't tell if he's got something in his hands or not.
Yeah, we can't tell either. That looks like a dog from the house, from the neighborhood. He is still moving. He is down.
He's shot.
He is injured, and we do see that there is some blood on his shirt indicating he has been shot. And we're hearing now that he does have a gun in his hand.
Okay.
So that's why LA County Sheriff's deputies right now are keeping a little bit of a wide berth. Make the shot for you just a little bit wider. He apparently has been hit. He is bleeding, but he is still on the ground, and he is moving. And because Sheriff's deputies believe he does have a gun in his hand right now, it wouldn't be in anyone's wide berth for the LA County Sheriff's helicopter in the area. We can't tell if he actually is holding that gun in his hand right now. That's the information we did hear earlier from sheriffs on the ground. Here's some new information we just got. SWAT deputies from the LA County Sheriff's Department, they've been dispatched. Not sure what their ETA is, but they are on the way right now to assist in this situation. That suspect, as you can see, is down on the ground. Appears to have been shot by LA County Sheriff's deputies. We had a tighter shot a short while ago. He's up and he's moving now. That's incredible for someone to be shot, to have a bullet inside their flesh to pierce what appears to be his stomach or maybe his chest and still be able to sit up, communicate, and talk with sheriff's deputies. That is really astonishing. So they might want to also start thinking about, gee, maybe the guy is under the influence of some kind of drugs, alcohol, some kind of medication. It's incredible that someone who's got a bullet in them could actually sit up and still talk. Appears to be very agitated. And as you mentioned, Mark, when the chase came to an end, the suspect out of his car, making threatening gestures toward sheriff's deputies, being very agitated toward deputies not cooperating or complying with their commands, made a run for it. And for some reason, sheriff's deputies, fearing for their own life or the lives of their partners or other folks in the neighborhood, they did shoot at and hit, apparently, that suspect who's down on the ground, breached this property and collapsed on that front porch. He was laying down and appeared to be writhing in pain, but at this point he is sitting. Sheriff's deputies to move in and take that suspect into custody. But the entire area is surrounded. There's absolutely nowhere for that suspect to run or hide. Sheriff's deputies on the street. They got the canine unit here, a couple of helicopters up as well. Yeah, you got deputies behind that shield for some measure of protection, and looks like SWAT deputies at one point. They're looking at him, they're pointing at him, and they might be devising a plan to start moving in. At least 4 SWAT deputies have that suspect surrounded.
It appears there an approach is imminent, excuse me, of this individual. Yep, it does appear that way. Here they go. They have that shield that I mentioned earlier.
And watch out for the cat, the bottom of your screen. Doesn't really know what's going on. But that is the property. They're getting closer and closer behind that shield. You've got 2 sheriff's deputies in the light tan shirts, one deputy holding up that shield, and then the SWAT deputy just behind him with a high-powered rifle. That could be an automatic weapon, Mark, as you had mentioned earlier. And these guys are brutally well fortified. They are extremely well trained, and they go through training year-round to prepare for situations, circumstances just like this. So he might have moved in just to get a closer look. He's got the weapon apparently pointed toward the suspect on the porch. Open up that shot for you just a bit. He's opening up the gates and then backing off just a little bit, all the while most likely still communicating with that suspect. They know exactly what they want him to do, and if they have to, they'll use a variety of different languages. If he doesn't speak English, they could use a variety of other means to communicate with that suspect. They want him to get rid of that gun and surrender peacefully. They approach the suspect, they approach that front gate, they open it, or apparently tried to open it, and now they're backing off on 43rd on at Vermont Avenue.
Okay, so they couldn't open the gate. That's part of the problem here. So that's a tactical problem that has presented itself.